Hey guys, so today I'm here with a review of the iRobot Roomba 560. The Roomba 560 is a fully automatic robot vacuum cleaner that does a very respectable, if not perfect job. Let me give you a tour. Okay, so taking a closer look at the Roomba, you'll find that it does have a button right here, which this will go ahead and you can pull out the dustbin, change the filter, all that kind of stuff, and it just slides right in and out. Now you have a couple of buttons on the device itself. You have the schedule button, as well as where you can set the clock, where you can do the day, the hour, and the minute. And then over here you can do the spot clean, you just do the standard clean, which is what you'll usually do, and then you can click this button to have it return to the dock. Now coming around to the front of the robot, you'll see that it does have a little sensor here, which kind of helps it navigate, find the dock, and find the virtual walls. And this entire front piece is pressure activated, so when it runs into a wall, we'll go ahead and depress a little bit. It shouldn't cause any damage, and then it'll go ahead and just turn around and get back on its way. Now, where the major part of it is, of course, is going to be on the bottom, whatever you want to call it. So one of the biggest questions I have gotten is how does it do when you hit a corner, for example? Because obviously, since it is round, it'll hit a square corner. Well, that's where this brush comes in. Basically, this brush will go ahead and spin, and she'll go ahead and pull some of the debris, whatever would be in the corner, over where it can be picked up. I found this worked very well. It wasn't perfect, but it worked just fine to me. I didn't really have any problems with it. Now, a couple of other things I really would like to mention is that the design of it overall is very, very well done. That's totally sealed, so you don't need to worry. I know with some of the previous Roombas, you actually had to worry about dust, causing problems, whatever, but not the case whatsoever. So up front, you'll see that there's a little wheel where you can go ahead and it spins around to help it navigate. And then you do have two fairly large drive wheels that actually do have some nice suspension. So if you're driving over, whatever it is, this will be able to do pretty well. It shouldn't get really all that stuck. And of course, here is the the major part of it where the vacuum is, where it'll actually go ahead and suck up all the dirt and debris. The Roomba comes with a dock that charges it while it's not in use. So all you need to do is plug it into an outlet and place the dock in an area where the Roomba can get in and out. To turn on the Roomba, all you need to do is click the center button and let the Roomba do the rest. Once underway, the Roomba is surprisingly thorough. It will often bump into furniture and then stop and change course. However, it is very gentle and shouldn't cause any damage. One thing you should keep in mind is that your floor needs to be as clear as possible of obstacles such as cushions, chairs, and cords. While in general this isn't a major problem, as usually it just slows down the Roomba, clearing up surge protectors and cables is certainly the most important thing. As you might expect from such a compact package, the Roomba is not quite as good as a normal upright vacuum. However, it does do a respectable job. It can often take quite a while to finish vacuuming, but since you don't need to do any of the work, it wasn't a big deal to me. One thing to note is that there are several Roomba models made specifically to deal with pet hair, so if you have several animals, especially if they shed, you'll probably want to look into one of them. I didn't have much trouble, however. The Roomba is going to do a good job if you have a smaller house or apartment, but if you live somewhere larger, it likely won't be able to finish in a single go. The battery is rarely a problem, as when it is low, the Roomba automatically stops what it's doing and tries to head home to the dock. Keyword, tries. More than once, after watching it slowly make circle after confused circle, trying in vain to find the dock, I gave in and just brought it back myself. What might be a problem is the relatively small dustbin, which can fill up fairly quickly if you're in need of a major clean. Again, as long as you run it regularly, it shouldn't be an issue. One feature I wasn't totally sold on were the virtual walls. The 560 comes with two, and in theory they allow the Roomba to know when a room is complete and move on to the next. However, in practice, this didn't work very well for me. Sometimes it's not able to see the sensors, but when it does, it seems to work decently. Needing to place the sensors around your house and finding a place where they aren't in the way and yet still can be seen by the Roomba is a bit of a hassle, however. You can set the Roomba to start vacuuming on a schedule. However, I usually prefer to keep an eye on it. It's amusing to watch as it drives slow, steady circles around the floor, all the while bumping into things and immediately turning around and getting back on track. A few times it appeared to be stuck between a corner of the room and a chair as the chair legs confused it. However, it eventually found its way out and got back to work. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with the Roomba. Being a major geek, I love the idea of having a robot do work for me, and from that perspective, the iRobot Roomba 560 did a stellar job. It did admirably cleaning, it's quite entertaining to watch, and is designed very well. I personally didn't mind dealing with the odd problem or oddity, as it kind of added to the charm. However, that's the main reason why I cannot recommend this to everyone. While the Roomba does quite a good job, it's not quite as easy as just hook it up and forget about it. You'll need to clean the filter and empty the bin quite often, and occasionally go rescue it. The value proposition is also a bit of a tricky subject as well. Currently on Amazon, the Roomba 560 goes for about $300, and while that seems very reasonable to me considering what you get, of course an ordinary vacuum will be much cheaper and generally do a better job. If you're fine with your current vacuum, then the Roomba isn't going to be a revolution or a must-have gadget. For me and a lot of other people though, I think the iRobot Roomba 560 is a great way to get yourself on board the robot train to Lazy Town. I mean, it's a good vacuum.